Yeah, how you doing, everybody? It's Monday the 25th of January 2010, and it's in the middle of the afternoon. It's just after 3 o'clock. I meant to make this posting yesterday. I'm coming up with a lot of excuses recently, but I had a problem with this software thing on the machine, so I have to load new software up. But in the interim, I'm using a camera, borrow a camera of a friend of mine, using it. So hopefully now everything will go well. I just really wanted to discuss an article that was in the Irish Times on Saturday, and I think it's an interesting article, and I think it's an important article. It relates to a man, a small farmer. And when I say a small farmer, he's a farmer who he's a dairy farmer, and he's based down in Castlecomer in Kilkenny. It's a small town down in the Midlands of Ireland, and they have a big industrial complex adjacent to the town, and it manufactures bricks. And this man's name is Dan Brennan, and this was on the radio and television several years ago about this. This has been an ongoing situation with this man. And when it was announced initially, I thought that they'd sorted it very, very quickly. I thought it was just a local factory, and which it is technically, but I'm going to tell you about that in a minute or two. And I thought they were just having a dispute. I thought it was a farmer having a dispute with a local factory, and it would be sorted out and that would be it. But that's not the case. And what this is a manifestation of what happens when you take on a giant corporation. Now, I want you to go back 4 or 5 years ago when all this started for this man, and I want you to think about the general economics that were dictating economic policy in Ireland, and it was all based around one thing and one thing only. It was all based around property. All right. So what you had is you had the government, the banks, and the property developers all in bed with one another and all making colossal sums of money. All right, and feeding off one another. The government with brown envelopes, the banks from their massive bonuses, and the people directly involved in it were the property developers who were making the direct input from the sales of the mortgages. They were getting the output of that. But as an adjunct to that, there were people who had to supply the raw materials to build the houses, to build the properties, and to build the roads, the civil engineering projects, etc. were going on. Okay, and one of these was this factory complex. It's one of the biggest suppliers of brick in Ireland. It supplies bricks, house bricks. It's called the Ormond Brick Company. But that's not the key to it. The key to it appeared, which is the first time I've ever heard this. But I should have found out about it, but I didn't at the time, because I didn't think it was important, as I say. And I thought it would be settled very, very quickly, but it wasn't. And it's a one-liner, and I've put up all the links to all these things so you can see them there in the little panels. Have a look at them. It says here, Ormond Brick Company, which is a subsidiary of CRH. That's it. So that just, it's all answered in that. Everything's answered in that. And CRH is Cement Roadstone Holdings. And it's one of the only proper multinational conglomerate stroke corporations that we have in Ireland. It is the biggest company in Ireland by far. Linked to their site, you see the story, all right? It's capitalised at the present moment. Its capitalisation is 12.5 billion euros. In its heyday, a few years back, it was capitalised, I think, at above 30 billion. That's more than a lot of countries' GDPs are. All right. So this is a massive company. Worldwide, it's in over 120 countries. It employs over 90,000 people. And as I say, the total size of the Irish Stock Exchange, it represents 33 1/3. 1/3 of the Irish Stock Exchange in capital terms is represented by this company. You think the Irish banks and all that are big? They're in a halfpenny place. They're all capitalised at about $1 billion at the minute. $1 billion, 1.5 billion. This is capitalised at the moment in a depressed situation at 12.5 billion. But the link up, you have a look at it. Okay. So this man, Dan Brennan, found himself up against the Ormond Brick Company. in a normal circumstances, what would happen is nothing would happen with Mr. Brennan. He wouldn't be able to go anywhere. He wouldn't be able to do anything. He went to our Ministry of Agriculture. He got his vets to go there. They carried out what they claim were innumerable tests. It's cost so far €500,000 for these tests, soil sampling tests and all that. They claim they found nothing wrong. Next thing is, a crowd of Europeans arrive and they smell the air. That's all you have to do. That's all you'd have to go down and do. Smell the air, taste the water, and look at the grass. And look at the cattle, and you'd know there's something seriously wrong here. Something seriously wrong here. That's what they've done. They're going to have their technical people fly in here. They'll sort that out in 2 minutes, literally in 2 minutes. That'll all be just, and 10 days later or 2 weeks later, there'll be a whole report done up and the findings, and that's it. That's what's going to happen. And the only reason why that's happened is two things have happened. The Irish economy's gone. Okay, Cement Roadstone Holdings no longer hold the pivotal, they're a massive company, but they no longer hold the key to our whole Celtic Tiger stroke credit bubble that we had. They're not at the epicenter of it anymore. That's number one. And number two, the man went to Europe, and Europe, they don't give a shite about the man. They don't give a flying hoot about the man from County Kilkenny or his 170 acres or his cattle that produce milk. They're not interested in that. But they want to be seen to be doing the right thing because they're holding up Europe as a model. A great multinational cooperative model. And they want to be seen to be doing the right thing. And this is a massive PR exercise for them. So they'll come down on the side of that man. Anyway, that's how I read it. That's how I think. Well, that's what I think. That's how anybody sensible would think would be the outcome of it. And all I'd say is, I hope that it's CRH has to pick up the tab. The man is suing the Armoured Brick Company, which is a subsidiary of CRH. And I only hope that it is CRH and the Armoured Brick Company pick up the tab. And the tab isn't passed on to us. Because I could see both Armoured Brick and CRH trying that trick. Because we live in unbelievable times. We live in truly unbelievable times. And this little article is just an example of what it's like when an ordinary human being and Joe Citizen tries to take on the establishment. This has been going on for years and years and years. This hasn't been going on just yesterday. I think this has been going on for 5 or 6 years. And it's only now, when political and economic circumstances change, that this man is going to get some sort of resolution to his problem. I wish him the best. We'll talk more.